We back with challenge mode UT-1-5, where we get to take on Creepy Doll again with friends this time. Now, I am doing this 7 levels under the recommended level, so this run will take a little bit more time even with the few turns I ended up wasting. I will be going over the setup I used to beat this boss as well as the units and gear. Let me show you what I got. Gear I'm using for this run, the main star of the show here, Lotta, is running her M1 Super 90 with Phase Strike as the set. The key she's using is Confidence Boosters, Silent Cheer, and Trembling Aim. Sumi is using the Unspoken Calling with an Ultimate Pursuit set. Keys I have on her are Little Guardian and Unyielding Momentum. Ksenia is rocking the Sketchin. She doesn't have a set, but she is using the Win-Win Partnership key and the Mutual Benefit key. Kyonji is using Golden Melody with a Phase Strike set. The key she's using is Targeted Training, Point of Vulnerability, and Concentration. And then Sharkri is using the BP AR with the Phase Strike set, and for her keys she has Thermal Feedback, Deadly Alert, and Devilish Whisper. Starting off, take notice of where I have the positioning of Lotta, Xiaomi, and Ksenia. Then you'll also notice over here, I have Sharkri and Kyonji. Now, I have these positions particularly because, well, like Somi here, this is Somi's forever home. I move her here, and she actually never moves from this position ever again. Ideally, you could, thinking back on it, you could actually move her over later with the rest of the team, but you'll see that in a bit here. Now, I move Lotta up here because some reason the the mob on top of this tower or this platform here won't attack Lotta for whatever reason. Even though other places I've moved it had cover, it just some reason doesn't really want to hit her up there, which is fine. Now I'm moving Ksenia over here so I can get some damage on this mob up here. I'm actually taking advantage of the boss's AI, and Lotta's really the star of the show here because we're going to take advantage of the second skill the boss has, where it always targets the lowest HP unit, and that's always going to be Lotta. She has a low base HP pool. These are all the same level of level 35, and it really makes things simple because the boss is usually always going to use that, or pretty much always going to use that skill right before she goes into her ulti, which makes a consistent area where she's always going to ult, and you'll see that a little later in the video. Now, this is not a short video. This is about 11 turns. There was some unfortunate RNG that didn't really help me out, that made me take an extra turn, but that's fine. Now, I move Lotta here, and she's going to stay here for the remainder of the fight, and I'm using the second skill here so I can finish off this guy. I don't need Lotta's AoE for another couple of turns, so I can go ahead and do that and then use her third skill so that she can get her ulti back when I'm going to need it. And I'm slowly moving Ksenia over to the back of this building over here, and Sharkri and Kyonji are finishing the Az off on the other side of the map and slowly making their way to that backside of that building, the one that Lotta's right next to. And you'll see I have actually a particular setup that makes manipulating the boss a lot easier, so she's a lot simpler to deal with. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move Kyonji over here, do a little bit damage to this guy, try and weaken him up a bit. Now the boss, if I remember correctly, will go into her ulti here, and this is what I'm talking about. So she'll attack Lotta with that skill right there and always move up here and use her ulti as long as there's nothing blocking her path. And when she's up on this platform, she can only hit units that are up on that platform. And eventually the setup I have will make it to where none of my units are ever threatened by her ultimate. Here I'm just checking to see if I can hit the boss. I can't, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit the creepy doll over here. And the fun part about this strat is that eventually we don't have to really worry about these after images. The after images are only threatening if you have to move your units. If you never have to move your units, they aren't a threat. And eventually we won't actually need to move anybody. Now, like I was saying, you could take this opportunity to move Somi over to the rest of the group where I'm going to be positioning everybody. But I found it's fine to keep Somi there because some of the after images will aggro onto her. And the less after images we have over here, the better. Now I'm going to try to use... No, actually I'm not. I'm going to use Lotta's AoE ability here to take out these after images to clear up the space I'm going to be using. This will allow me to use her third skill to sit there and get her ultimate back and buff herself. And then I can go ahead and move Ksenia right here. Now, I'm moving Sharkry up closer. Once I get Sharkry into place, I'll be able to move Lotta into the spot that I want to utilize her in. And Kyonji can be a little late to the party, and that's fine. Since I have nothing better to do, I'm just going to go ahead and attack this creepy doll here with Somi. And like you see, that skill that I was talking about at the beginning, she always targets Lotta and then always moves up to this spot up here and uses her ultimate. And fortunately enough, that spot is very easy to target. Even Somi, for some reason, can actually target that spot. I honestly didn't think Somi would be able to, but we're just going to take advantage. Now moving Kyonji over here, getting her in position so that she can actually attack the boss, so that we get as many assist attacks as we can in. If you don't have Kyonji, then you can use Tololo, oh, the Russian girl, I forgot what her name is right now. But we're going to move Sharkry over here, and now that I have Sharkry and Ksenia in those spots, I can move Lotta down one spot, which I'll do here after I get some damage onto the boss and finish Sharkry's turn. I'm actually... Okay, I do go for some damage here. You could buff Kyonji with Ksenia's second skill, just to give her an attack buff for a couple turns. It's not a bad idea, but I think I went with a defensive buff for safety. But now that I have Lotta here, Sharkry in that position, you don't move Lotta until you get Sharkry and Ksenia into those positions. Reason being is because the boss can sit there and teleport to Lotta on one of those two spots, and if she does, then she will ulti on the lower level. And we don't want her ulting on the lower level. We want her to always be able to move up to that top platform to do her ulti so our team never has to move. And here, this is honestly a meme at this point. So Lotta has a really large AoE, which is great. And usually if I target right there, I hit the boss. Luckily I have a second AoE. So I sit here and try to target some other spaces. I honestly probably targeted. No, I did try to target some other possible spaces, or maybe not. Either which way, I missed the boss both times, and end up prolonging this fight for one more turn than it probably needed to be. But yeah, like I was saying, but we want this setup here because it makes the boss consistent in what she does. She's always going to smoke right in this area, go and camouflage, and we can sit there. It's an enclosed space, so we have a lot easier time to AoE normally. She'll use her skill on Lotta right here like this, and then she'll move up here and use her ultimate up top in that spot, and then in that spot all of our units can target her, so we're just gonna go ham. On a side note, Ksenia's second skill can actually proc Sharkry and her ability to get a support attack off if you take I believe it's her third key. Also, Sharkry's second skill procs her own passive, which is hilarious. So she actually attacks twice. And for the most part, since we have everybody getting attacks off, Kyonji really doesn't ever need to do anything except use her ultimate, so that she's always support attacking when any of your units attack. With Xiaomi's second skill, try to save it when you need to break the boss's stability. Okay, well that is unfortunate. Normally, she would smoke onto the other side. I'm not 100% sure why she ended up smoking on this side. That's okay. If this does happen, you should take the time to actually clear out these dolls that are over here, because again, like I was saying with this setup, the only thing that could usually mess it up is if the creepy doll after images, if they happen to block all the spots around Lotta, then the boss won't be able to do the usual thing, which is teleport in front of the Lotta, attack her, and then walk up to the top and ultimate. Fortunately, we can't do anything but waste a turn here because some reason the boss decided to target Somi when she should have been targeting Lotta. Now that the boss has gone into her ultimate state, we're going to go ahead and start trying to break her stability so we can get some damage in on it. I'm going ahead and just using Lotus as, her basic attack on the boss to procs Kyonji. It's the only ability that Lotta has that will proc Kyonji. And as you can see, I'm saving the second skill there for when the boss gets his stability back, and I'm just using Xiaomi's basic attack. Now, that after image isn't a problem currently, but that second one's going to be a problem later. And you'll see, so this, if the boss ever smokes up on this platform, and you'll see here that I'm going to check to make sure that that smoke is up on that platform right now. Use Lotta's third, or her ultimate here, make sure all the tiles are lit up. She can hit the entire platform, so there's no dodging for this boss. Now that the boss has been exposed, we just go all in on it. And since I'm trying to push damage, I'm going to use Ksenia's second skill here. That way I can get Sharkery's attack in. And you know, I'm being greedy here since her... Or apparently I don't. I thought I was going to be greedy. I am a very greedy person. I will be greedy here in a bit. Okay, so now that these after images have moved in this position, this is actually really bad for me under normal circumstances. So she's going to do the attack, teleport here, and then now she cannot move up to that platform. We needed those after images actually cleared out, but I'm being extremely greedy here. I feel like I can kill her through the ultimate, so I'm going to go ahead and put everything I can into the boss and see if it dies. If I was wrong and this didn't kill her, more than likely my entire team would have died. Even with Somi's shield. Somi's shield could sit there and protect my entire team from this ultimate. But the follow-up attacks afterwards would probably kill them all. But if I was wrong and this didn't work, then I just would have rewound a few turns and then cleared out these ads so it wouldn't have messed up the boss manipulation. Also, if you don't currently have Somi, Groza's not a bad replacement. The only thing is, if you're going to use Groza, which she will reduce the damage your team takes, which is great. But if you are going to use Groza, the movement speed down on her abilities could mess things up, and you would have to replace Ksenia with somebody who heals a bit more AoE heal. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope this helps you defeat the challenge mode boss. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling extra special, you can join the Mage Institute by clicking the join button. You can catch me on Discord, and link is in the description. And if you want to help support this channel, there's a link in the description for that too. As always, I will see you all next time.